Many people identify with pain and they don't even realize it. The question to you is, who are you when you are not in chaos? Okay? Who are you when you are not struggling? What does that look like? What does peace mean to you? I realize a lot of this culture that we exist in terms of being busy, always being occupied, right? It gives us a sense of identity. If I'm busy, then I'm important, right? If I got things going on, then that means I am growing, I am maturing. But a lot of times, we will choose projects that allow us to procrastinate from the actual work that we should be doing. And a lot of times when we are struggling, we think that gives us a sense of purpose, which is why we will choose relationships that seem to be a puzzle we always have to figure out, or we have to earn this love from this person, or we have to earn validation, right? We always have to put up a struggle. And the funny thing is if I was to ask certain people, hey, what does it look like to not struggle for you? They'd probably say, actually, it feels very uncomfortable. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what it's like to not struggle. And sometimes when we admit that, that tells us so much about how we move through the world. The truth of the matter is when it comes to peace, when it comes to rest, these things are not reward-based. They're necessities. Okay? Sometimes when we are, for example, choosing a dysfunctional relationship, we think that this relationship is the only container that this dysfunction takes place, but that's not true. Think about it. If I am constantly emotionally exhausted or overstimulated or disoriented, or my nervous system is constantly activated by this said individual or them me, I'm tired. I'm ran down. I can't concentrate at work. I can't concentrate in my other relationships. I don't even have enough energy to give in these other spaces because I'm so worn out. Okay? And when I do actually rest, my body doesn't know what to do with that, so I got to do something else. That's why a lot of times we will choose people who feel like a project for us. Because it allows us, one, to procrastinate from ourselves, but also it gives us this sense of duty. Like if I'm doing something, okay, then that means that I matter. And if I fix this person, that means that they'll love me. All right, that means that I am lovable. And it's important to ask yourself, at what point in time in life was it taught to me that the only way I could be loved is if I was willing to always be in some form of labor for another person, right? Love equaled labor, right? That's what love was for me. Love equaled labor. Or labor equaled love, however you want to think about it. But if you've operated in that space, something else that's worth catching is how often do I sabotage? Okay? Sometimes it looks like waiting to the last minute to, I was talking about paying bills earlier, but waiting to the last day to pay a bill. Or you know you're reaching a deadline on something, right? So now you cram. You put yourself in this heightened sense of fight or flight where your body has no choice but to respond. But let's think about it on a biological level. Whenever we are constantly running in this fight or flight space, that's changing the chemicals in our body. Our cortisol levels increase, right? Our heart rate speeds up, okay? Our breathing changes. Our appetite is all messed up. So we are so dysregulated that everything in our body kind of takes a hit. And if you're not used to a lack of struggle when it comes to things, you will find ways to sabotage yourself. Example, waiting until the last minute to do something. Or choosing a relationship where a person is clearly inconsistent or they're inconsiderate. And there's an incongruency that's already embedded in the dynamic, but you will choose that. Whereas a person who doesn't make you think or perform or struggle or suffer, I don't want that. That's actually really uncomfortable. The reason why is because you're not requiring me to jump through rings of fire, and that's not how I learn what love is. That's not how I learn what peace is. The fact that you don't make me earn anything makes me feel empty because now I can't necessarily rescue. All right. I can't be perceived as a certain way. I don't get a grade. I don't get brownie points. And that bothers me. Sometimes it's important to examine, well, what does peace look and feel like for me? Am I at peace? Not just protecting it. If the only time you protect your peace is when you're avoiding an uncomfortable conversation, okay, to put the pieces together, that's not protecting peace. All right. And I want you to think about, how often do you exist in relationships with other people where you are constantly overgiving, overextending yourself, right? Putting yourself in a deficit to invest in other people, setting yourself on fire to keep other people warm. And you continuously do that. And what we need to also understand is resentment will build over time. And sometimes it will go so far that we feel like we have to continue. Well, I can't let these people down. And sometimes these people are betraying you. Okay, I have to show up. So now you put yourself in this chaotic space, which means that my body only knows how to do this, so that's what I'm going to seek out. A lot of times we say we want peace. We say we don't want to struggle. We say we want happiness. But when we actually have the opportunity to cultivate it, it feels scary. It feels too uncomfortable. And you're like, you know what? Never mind. I don't want that. I'm gonna go back to this chaos. This feels better for me. And we'll sabotage healthy connections. We'll sabotage healthy job positions. Okay, we will sabotage an opportunity for ourselves. You know, I remember when I was growing up and I would have to go to auditions, one of the things that I was taught was like, hey, always leave room for error. Especially since I'd be traveling to the city from the suburbs, right? There was a train. Sometimes trains didn't show up. You know, when you get to the subway, sometimes the subway is running late. Then you got to find your way around. There's foot traffic. All right. And if you knew you had to be at this audition at a particular time, why are you leaving an hour? Right? And it's like 45 minutes door to door, but you are leaving an hour. You'll get there in an hour, which means that you only have 15 minutes for error. Sabotage. Okay. Think about how often you create chaos for yourself in just those little moment to moments. And think about why that's your identity. Okay. Think about if you see yourself as the martyr in your relationships. Well, I have to do this. I have to be a bleeding heart. I have to give my all to these people who never seem to work and build themselves up because they always know I'm going to take care of them. Sometimes you're creating your own monsters in your life by not giving people their own responsibility, but also by not taking responsibility for yourself. Sometimes our self-sabotage is literally giving us projects to distract us from just being better. Because to be better, we don't always feel like we deserve it. So I'm going to create the environment that I'm most used to. Think about how uncomfortable the idea of peace is, and think about why it's so uncomfortable. Why do you feel like you don't deserve to be at peace and still be happy and still be successful? So I challenge you to just take a look at your life right now and see what right now is an advocacy for peace, or is it an aversion to it? And ask yourself, am I willing to change? Even if it's something small. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other.